Hachette Audio presents A Child's Introduction to African American History, written by Jabari Asim, read by Dion Graham. This program contains a PDF of illustrations, bios, and a timeline.
To the grand girls, Genzia and Amanla. What is African American history? For many years, the history of African Americans was not often told in books or in school. Some people could rely on family stories handed down from generation to generation. Otherwise, you might have to do a bit of detective work to find out anything at all about this facet of our nation's history, poring over historical records and looking through books and photos. The lack of available information led to the spread of false or misleading stories about the culture and experiences of African Americans. These stories are called myths or stereotypes. This started to change in 1915 when Carter G. Woodson founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. In 1926, he went on to launch Negro History Week. He chose February because Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln's birthdays took place during that month. In 1976, Carter's Big Idea expanded to Black History Month, when many schools across the country celebrate by studying and discussing the contributions of African Americans. Thanks to Woodson and others like him, the history of African Americans is now at your fingertips. What's in a name? When African Americans first arrived in the American colonies, they were called Africans, after the continent they came from. For example, the oldest black church in the United States is called the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Later, the descendants of the African newcomers were referred to as coloreds. The nation's oldest civil rights group is called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP. Later on, African Americans were referred to as Negroes, taken from Niger, the Latin word for black. In 1914, for instance, the political leader Marcus Garvey founded a group called the United Negro Improvement Association, or UNIA. During the 1960s, black replaced Negro as the more common term. An example of a group that uses that designation is the Congressional Black Caucus. Today, African American is the preferred term, reflecting both the group's African origins and its members' status as American citizens. Get to know Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson was a historian and author. Today, he is best known as the father of Black History Month. The son of formerly enslaved parents, he was born near New Canton, Virginia. After graduating from the University of Chicago, he became the second African American to earn a doctorate degree from Harvard University. The first was W.E.B. Du Bois. When Woodson founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, he called for a study of the past that would be free from prejudice. The aim of this organization, he wrote, is to set forth facts in scientific form, for facts, properly set forth, will tell their own story. He went on to become a professor and dean at Howard University and West Virginia State College. Woodson wrote more than 30 books, including The Miseducation of the Negro. The beginnings of slavery. Kidnapped or traded. Most groups that immigrate to the United States leave their homelands in search of a better life. African Americans are the only ethnic group whose ancestors were brought to this country against their will. White colonists bought them as if they were property. Then they transported them to the New World. Whether traded by enemy tribes or kidnapped by European raiders, Africans were herded into slave camps on the west coast of Africa, starting in the 1500s. If they managed to survive the disease and misery of the camps, they took their last steps on African soil at places like the Doorway of No Return on Gorée Island in Senegal and Elmina in Ghana. Over the course of 3 centuries, armed traders forced 20 million Africans onto ships to transport them across the Atlantic Ocean to European colonies in the Americas and the Caribbean. Once there, they had to plant and tend crops for long hours with no pay.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?